How are y'all? It's Coffee Chat Monday. Today we're going to talk about everyday creativity. How to be more creative every day. How to add creativity into other aspects of life, not just our creative life. To be more creative in general. So grab you a cup and let's get started. When I first started thinking about being more creative in my life, I had gone from having a 7:30 to 6:30 job and finance. I worked in banking, finance, accounting, customer service, sales, that kind of stuff for over 25 years. And my hierarchy of needs back then was a lot different than my hierarchy of needs for my creative life that I have now. And I had to readjust my thinking for a lot of different things. If you know anything about the hierarchy needs, there are all these certain ones that are definite ones that we need. I reevaluated mine, and sleep. Sleep, one of the number one things, sleep. We all need sleep. I need anywhere from 5 to probably 8 or 9 hours, depending on what's going on in my life. So sometimes I sleep 5 or 6 hours, and sometimes I'll sleep 8 or 9, on occasion 10 hours. Depends on what's going on with my body. Food, coffee. Sometimes I notice I need to eat even healthier. Been trying to eat healthier, but sometimes I notice that my body craves certain things like nuts and fruits and vegetables and water and juice and different things. So I try to now follow more of what my body's telling me it needs. So sometimes when my body says, hey, you ought to get some cranberries, some almonds, some cashews, make yourself some of that trail mix that you like so much. If you need some of that. Or if my body's going, hey, oh, those pineapples, those peaches, oh, salad, yes, you know you really want a salad. Try to follow along with what my body's craving. Now, I know when my body starts craving the junk food, the chocolate and stuff, then usually that's because I've been a little too sedentary and I need to get my adrenaline and stuff going. The next thing on my hierarchy needs would be love, togetherness, family, quality time with Mr. Victor, Mr. Rockstar, with my family in general. One of the other things that I've noticed I need is to create, to be creative in some form or fashion. I also, on that, the next thing down would be some me time. And along with some me time, sometimes I need tribe or community time. And then the last thing on my list is probably one of the, actually should be ranked up in the top, would be some out in nature time, to get outside, to get outdoors, to get some fresh air and some vitamin D and things like that. So those are just some of my important needs. But part of my, like I said, part of my needs is to be creative some way. I need to be creative somehow, some way, every day. Well, how can I be creative every day? I mean, I live a creative life. I am journaling and creating art and doing collage and writing and doing DIY projects, and I'm surrounded by color and books and writing, and I read, and I do all these things that are creative. I really need to be more creative. Well, there's different kinds of creativity. Different kinds of creativity. So what are some of the other ways that I could be creative? And how does being creative every day benefit me, benefit you, benefit anybody? One of the ways to be creative in other aspects of our lives is when we are doing things, be mindful, think about what else could I do? How could I do it differently? Is there something else I could do that would be more efficient, that would be more fun? Could I change things up, get more joy out of it, make it easier? Make it more fun, make it better. That's creative thinking. And it's easy to fall into the creative rut. It's easy to fall into the regular life routine rut, to fall into that ho hum doldrums kind of thing. But if you add a little bit of creativity to your regular life, then it's not so hard. It's not so hard. You don't, at least for me, I find that it breaks up some of the monotony, it breaks up some of the routine. Because our everyday lives aren't quite so routine when we throw some creative fun into the mix. Everything we do, everything we think, it's a form of creativity. Creativity is actually sort of problem solving. Creativity is more than just the arts. If you add a bit of fun into your life in different ways, that's being creative. You could do, how about I give you a list of different things you could try? Different things I've been trying to try. Try a new recipe, or better yet, revamp an old recipe. You know, one of those recipes that you tried and it was just kind of okay? Revamp that sucker. Try it differently. Add something you love, or try it in a way that you know maybe it'll come out better, you'll like it to your taste buds. Read a book that's in a completely different genre than your norm, or go back to a childhood book. You don't have to go all the way back to the little ABC kind of books, but you could go back. I find that when I read books to Victor, I am enthralled, especially when I read him some of the books that I really loved as a child. Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web, The Chronicles of Narnia. There's all kinds of books that I can read to him. He really enjoys when I read to him that aren't quite at his reading level yet, but that he enjoys the story. Every time he spends the night, I read a whole new chapter of Stuart Little to him. And it reminds me of why I love the story so much, of why I love all those stories so much still, even as an adult. And I also, sometimes when I need a boost, when I want to take a little bit of me time and I want to read a little bit, I'll read some poetry. There are all different kinds of things that you could read. Some people like anime, cartoon kind of things. Some people like graphic books, all kinds of things, graphic art books, all kinds of things. There's all different kinds of things that you could read. So just pick a different kind of book than your norm. With your family, your loved ones, your friends, spend time with them. Find a different way to spend time with the people in your life. Date night with your spouse, a coffee date with somebody in your family, a day at the park with somebody, a museum, a gallery, a zoo, any number of things. Get out of your norm. Spend some time with somebody that you love in a different way. For house stuff, I find that listening to music, happy music that makes me want to move, is a really good music to listen to when I clean. Sometimes I dance when I clean. You know, those are the different kinds of things I'm talking about. There's a quote by Lee Se King, and he says, or she says, adding fun, joy, and play into your life and business will certainly give you more perspectives when looking at the same problem situation. So if we look at things from a different point of view, from a different way, what else could we do kind of way? We expand our minds. We are being creative. We are thinking out of our norm, trying to come up with different solutions, which is what creativity is. I have had to revamp my schedule, my routine, any number of times based on family priorities, based on me, based on Mr. Rockstar's work schedule, all different kinds of things. And this is one of those things where I know I may be revamping it on again, off again, as I find things that work better and better and better for me. I'm a night owl. However, I have to do a lot of the certain things during the day for natural lighting, all different kinds of things. It's more beneficial and more efficient for me to do some of the things during the day, which means there are other things that I actually get a lot more done, some of those things done at night. And I spend time with Mr. Rockstar, and he's on a rotating schedule, so that also mixes up my schedule. And I change things up depending on my level of pain and depending on what else is going on. As I go through some of the things, I'm like, well, you know, I could change this, or I could change that. And instead, I sat down one day and said, okay, how could I do this a little bit better? How could I make things more efficient? And that was what led to rearranging things in here so that the writing space is back there so that this is more of the, this is the craft table is actually the craft table, so that I have more specific areas to do stuff in, and that has really helped. It's helped going through things and figuring out how I can be more efficient, and but not taking away the fun or the creativity from things, but adding to has actually been really helpful. So how are you creative? I love to do DIY projects. I love to try different things. And those are just some of the things that I try to do to help myself be creative outside of my normal creative day, um, just to help kind of spice things up and have a little bit of fun. What do you do? I want to hear about it. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye.